Hello and welcome to Just Do It, a Dewey Brothers podcast. This is Alex.
This is Eric.
And we won't be here for another week, unfortunately. We're going on spring break this week, and so we recorded this podcast way ahead of time.
Actually, we didn't record anything. We have some stand-ins here live from the main event down at Lake Titicaca, Alex.
Correct. The spring break event of the year. Remember, it is currently the end of summer there. And what's going on is the underwater pentathlon. It is a fantastic event with two awesome sports commentators. So, Eric, I think we should just throw to them, right?
Heck yeah. I mean, I see the broadcast is in motion. It's live. Let's reroute our fans to that now.
Yeah, let's switch over right now. Hello, Patches Eric Mcgee, also known as Salty. Are you there? Can you hear us?
I be a grizzled old lighthouse keeper down here at Lake Titicaca. They call me Salty because of the water here. It's just so fresh and lake water. That's how I got my name. I'm a salty old grizzled man, and I gotta say I'm glad that the underwater pentathlon's back at Lake Titicaca.
Oh, wow, Salty. That is fantastic. How about you introduce your co-host, and then we will just throw the broadcast over to you. Have a good one.
I don't know if I want to do that because I'm here joined with the great athlete, Pichael Melps. So, why don't you introduce yourself, old Pichael?
Hey, I'm Pichael Melps. I'm the 8-time world champion of the underwater pentathlon. I am just so stoked right now, man, to have it down here at Lake Titicaca. I think I'm going to rip a fat bong rip. Hold on. Salty, you want to hit?
I don't be partaking in those. I know athletes these days use those performance-enhancing drugs to reduce their lung capacity so they're less buoyant. But
oh yeah, Stubway did not like that one at all. But hey, man, way better than the Jared guy.
I got a question there, Pichael Melps.
Yeah, what's up there, Patches Mcgee?
Did you think that whenever you were diving, the additional gold medal around your neck actually helped you in the underwater competitions?
Yeah, actually, the gold chains were how I established positive buoyancy. Neutral buoyancy, right? Instead of a weight belt, I just used all that sweet blinging gold I won at this event.
That makes a lot of sense. So it looks like the competitors are rearing up for the first event here. Why don't you give a rundown on what we got coming up?
Of course. So the first event, as always, is the basket weaving and eating competition, of course, underwater. Participants are not allowed any external air for this event. You have to dive down, free dive, if you will, into the absolutely balmy and pristine waters of Lake Titicaca. Weave your basket out of red vines, and then eat
delicious stuff. I remember when I was a young man. I would be able to eat a whole packet of red vines right after I weaved the most elegant bouquet. So how is this judged? I know there's a portion, a lot of it's time based, but there's also the sort of the elegance of the baskets that they make. Do you know what our judges like this?
Yeah, so there's a couple different weave patterns you're allowed to go with when you're doing underwater basket weaving. And they all are a different score. It's just like figure skating. And out of a maximum, they determine how tightly wound the red vines are. So I'm more of a square basket kind of guy myself. I think they go faster. But looks like down there, who's our first competitor up, Patches?
The Russian, Petya, and I've heard he's a newcomer onto the scene. He's he doesn't actually like red vines, so this is gonna be a tough one for him. I hear in Russia they use blue vines over there.
They do indeed use blue vines in Russia. I was over there for one of the competitions, and blue raspberry is the flavor of those. It is completely different, changes up the whole competition. Yeah, Pita, he has opted for a circular basket. Now, these I find are easier to do well. You can hide your mistakes while weaving. But they require a little bit more red vines, and I don't like the taste of a round basket. It's a personal thing.
What would you describe that taste between the round versus square. Or I have heard hexagonal has a completely different taste too.
Oh, well, hexagonal is the most complicated. Everybody knows that. Easy. Everyone knows only. I mean, most people opt for. I always opted for the square because I knew I could nail the execution. With the hexagonal, every new edge introduces more faults, more critiques by the judges, and the Russian judges in particular were always hard on me.
Yes,
Now, Petya shouldn't have any problems with the Russian judges. I believe they are currently trading points with the French judges. Now,
okay.
So Peta here, he is going for an easier basket, the round basket, and some say a tastier basket. I think that it has too much of a vinegar punch, where the square baskets are more olive oil. These are, of course, flavors over the top of the red vine. Naturally.
Yeah.
Just like a wine tasting, they're in the it's the finer complexities.
See, not everyone at home understands that, so that's good to hear. I think
the French competitors actually joining the ring right now. Petya just got a great score from the Russian judge. The French competitor Le Petit Baguette is up.
Oh, see, I have heard.
You can just call him Le Petit.
I have heard of this Le Petit. He's also a newcomer on the stage, a very young competition this year, but he is a phenom. I've heard that his basket is very baguette shaped, and this actually allows him to suck it down a hole like they do over there in the France, you know.
Well, actually, he uses the Italian technique and just slurps it all down like a linguine.
Yeah, but it's a whole baguette sized, you know.
They do prefer their baskets long and skinny over in France. That is true.
It's true. I've seen it. They can fit a lot of their artistic fruit up in there.
Very much so. All right. Well, let's pan away from the underwater basket eating and weaving competition to the fish courting scene, something that the French have had a clean sweep on as long as I've been competing.
Oh, that fish courting, it's the only competition that requires a mix of charm, suave, and a little bit of gusto, you know?
So, Salty McGee, how would you recommend courting? I know my trade secrets, but how do you court the biggest fish in Lake Titicaca? Of course, I have courted fish from all around the world, but I've never actually competed in Lake Titicaca, which is why I'm happy to be down here.
As a man that's lived on this here lake for many years, there's one fish that's always seemed to escape me, and that is the Lake Titicaca monster, Old Titty. She's a miraculous beast. Something around 230 feet tall, from the late Mesozoic era, and that's the one that got away. Old Titty, she got away, that's for sure. But the other fish around in this area, I think to get a nice one, we are down in the southern hemisphere, so it's a tough go. A lot of the northern hemisphere, just those competitors sort of exude a northern sort of vibe, which tends to scare off a lot of these nice little southern charms down here.
Of course, the southern fish, they like to be romanced. The northern fish can be a little too aggressive, and the northern fish quarters can be a little too aggressive out the gate.
A little too forward, yeah.
That's understandable.
These southern ones like a little tease, you know, like will they, won't they sort of thing.
Now, in your experience, Mr. Salty, what is the best way to get a second date with a alligator minnow? Contrary to popular belief, ginormous fish. Top points, the alligator minnows.
Well, the alligator minnow is a very peculiar one, that's for sure, because legends have it that the old Incans had a saying: alligator minnow, more like something lost in translation. So we never know. We never found out what they were gonna say. But I've courted one or two, and to get a second date, they're a little shallow. You gotta dish out you gotta be a high roller. You gotta whip out the wallet. You know, show them a few few pesos, you know?
Oh, of course, of course. Le Petit Baguette seems to be taking a different approach. He is waxing poetic, and I don't see any alligator minnows going for him during his courtship dance. But what fish is that coming in? I see some Southern Hemisphere rainbow snappers.
Oh, see now the rainbow snappers, I'm gonna let you in. A large majority of them are a little flamboyant, so you never really know what they're going at. But they love the classics. They throw on a nice romantic movie, get the poetry, some roses down underwater, or the equivalent of a Lake Titicaca rose, and they're interested. That's for sure.
Actually the Peruvian underwater rose is a type of seaweed for our listeners back home, and the fish, they love it. They think it is the prettiest flower you can find.
Oh, it looks like Le Petit is actually comparing this rainbow fisher Madu to a one of these seaweed Peruvian roses. That's
To a
it's
rainbow.
genius.
Oh, a rainbow snapper that gets them every time.
Oh my goodness, it's an oldie but a goodie, that's for sure.
Who else is competing in the pentathlon, Eric, besides Peta Peta and Le Petit Baguette?
Well, we have none other than your very own brother. That's right, Michael Melps.
I forgot Michael Melps was here.
Yeah,
He's
I know
my
you
twin
two.
brother.
You two had a falling out that one time when.
No, dude, I love him. I love him to bits. He's my little brother. He's my little twin brother, and from another mother. But course. Identical in every way, same clones. We were separated at birth, and he was implanted into another lady, my stepmom, my other mom, because I have two moms. And both of them love me.
This grizzled Peruvian light housekeeper has seen it all, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, that's how you make a professional swimmer right there. Anyway, my little bro, he's amazing. I think this year, now that I'm not competing, he might finally be able to take the gold.
Yeah, I have heard that it runs in your freakishly weird clone blood, that's for sure.
Yeah, really the fish DNA in there really helps.
So, why don't we head on to the next event?
Sure, of course. The next event in the pentathlon, we'll hop over to that. Looks like it just came on, is the cairn construction. Now, in cairn construction, for our listeners back at home, you have to build an underwater monument in order to keep the judges from getting lost underwater. Now, the judges, they had scuba equipment, but you, again, this is a free diving pentathlon, and so you have to keep going up and down to keep picking up those rocks. It is a challenge. You have to be fit in the lungs and the swimming muscles.
I've heard that this is some competitors' favorite event in the pentathlon. It's
now, this event used to be freeform back in 2002. But now there's a standard cairn made out of 25 different stones, mined out of a particular quarry in Scotland. Scottish granite. Some say it's defective curling stones. I say it's perfect cairn stones.
I've seen these stones. They're good. They're good curling stones. Well, they're not great curling stones. They're all right. They sort of drift after a while. They get a weird drift to them. But as we're talking about cairn building, best stuff on Earth. I'm glad that Lake Titicaca was able to import them for this event.
Now, in cairn building, it used to be judged on both your performance grades, right? How artistic you were and how fast you could do it. But since the standardization of the cairn, it's now the first person to a certain height. And then they have to make sure that the judges can indeed follow the cairn through the underwater obstacle course.
You're right. It's actually a competition on both the judges and the competition on the competitors. It's
the first person to successfully get their judge to navigate through the course with a cairn of the exact height or more that they need. Now, I heard which competitor is up to the blocks right now, because he has revolutionized the sport. See, he has figured out a new beta for stacking the standard blocks, which eliminates one of the blocks, which saves him an entire trip over to go pick one up from the pile.
I believe this is actually the Dutch competitor Magnus Carlsen.
Ooh, Magnus Carlsen. You got to watch out for those Carlsens. They are cairn crafters. They come from a
They
long
got-
line of Karen crafters.
They geniuses. I will say that. What are they? I mean, right now he's out here. He has perfectly created the replica. I don't see any differences. That's definitely obvious. But the real question is he going to be able to? Is he going to be able to articulate what he's saying to the judge? And
Well,
really
the judge
get
sees
him
it.
to
The judge has his ruler out as he's swimming by, and it is over the height. He's done it. He's found a new beta. We're gonna see if anyone else after this Lake Titicaca pentathlon underwater extraordinaire event. Let's see if anyone else copies his beta, because I think you can shave 5-6 seconds.
It's dangerous. I have heard that American Alex Foothold guy is he's working on the beta.
Oh yeah, well Alex Foothold, he is a professional. He only does cairn stacking. Sometimes underwater big walling, where you make a big wall of rocks underwater. And he is known for endurance and little to no equipment.
I've heard that he does it with no aid.
Absolutely not. He refuses to use aid. He does it without a weight belt or wetsuit, which is impressive, really.
Really, really quite impressive.
Mm.
It looks like we have a little recess. Why don't we cut to commercial break for now? We'll be right back to continue this wonderful underwater pentathlon at Lake Titicaca.
Okay, that's right. And we'll catch you guys in just a minute after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, are you feeling down? Do you need something to even keep you further down? That's right. Come to Gunther's, where we got weighted belts. Anything to keep you under the water. Hey, we're gonna weight your belt. Thanks.
Hey, are you getting a little parched watching these incredible feats of nautical awesomeness? Then you should try your hand with Le Grand Rosé. Es la vino para tu, Le Grand Rosé.
And here you have it. That's right. Wow, Johnny, what are you drinking? Why, I'm just having a good time with this new crafted beer from Homegrown Hops. Whoa, Johnny, that looks delicious. Yeah, would you like a sip? Glug, glug, glug. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I think I might have more than a sip. Ha 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 ha.
Watch those flavors pop with Homegrown Hop. Hey, welcome back to the Underwater Pentathlon, being hosted here graciously in Lake Titicaca, Bolivia, and/or Peru. We are right on the border, technically international waters. I am one of your casters, Pichael Melps. His brother, Michael Melps, is actually out there competing today, and with me is Patches Mcgee, also known as Salty. Salty, how's it going?
Hey, right, I'm back. I gotta say, those ads, they got me feeling some sort of desire, that's for sure. I don't know what it is with these pentathlons and drinking, but oh baby.
So we have 2 more events in the pentathlon, and the one up next is what some people can consider the original freediving sport. This is the race to the thermocline. All out, freestyle, any way you want, no assistance allowed. Hey, Salty, I just saw at the race to the thermocline the young Chinese athlete, Young Su Shi. This is her first time competing, and the judges have come over just to the side of her. This is bad, Eric. They're checking her swimsuit, and it appears it may be artificially weighted. That is devastating
another one.
if that's true.
These young athletes, they never understand what it's called tradition. We gotta stick to it. If not, we're gonna have a bunch of Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. That's what I say.
It is. I mean, I'm telling you, it was total scrutiny. They almost caught me a couple times, Salty, but I hid my bong real good.
you and that bong of yours, Pichael. Dangerous, man. All right, so it looks like she just got disqualified.
Ooh, that is unfortunate. She was actually at the Thermocline Championships in Beijing and won by 0.3 of a second, which is a lot. especially when the thermocline's only 2 feet deep.
I sure hope down they don't take away any of her old medals or anything, because I think it was just, she's getting a little desperate, a little bit more, a little scared of the competition, like this young South African here, Elon Busk. This guy is
Elon Busk has he had to check all his jerseys in ahead of time to make sure they weren't all his swim trunks, because these things are sleek. They are fast looking. They're the future of swim trunks. I think they're all electric.
I think he calls them Trunk X. It's quite a feat in modern engineering, but with some more lenient rules up in the
next year they may be legal when the UWI, the underwater committee,
that one,
the EWC, when they get around to making some new rules.
That's true, but for now he's wearing just
now they're
classic,
totally legal.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, I think I like what's going on. They take the sport up a little. They spice it up. It's like taking for example, golf. It's the technology's making it a livelier game. So I'd like to see where it goes. Nothing too crazy, but just a little.
Exactly, old Salty. Back in your day, they were still using wooden golf clubs and Speedos, much like Le Petit Baguette. Although he has foregone the wool and instead gone with a poly blend.
Well, you see, Le Petit is he's a traditionalist for sure. I don't think he's even wearing a Speedo. It looks like he just took it off, claiming it was not small enough. He needed it even tighter around his area. Something about
good thing they have liberal laws around nudity, both in France and Bolivia.
It's a place to be. The young spectators are all screaming. I think it's okay. It's part of the event. It really livens everything up. What else can I say? It's a wonderful time to be here. Old Salty's having a good time.
Now, the race to the thermocline, some people think should be the final event, Salty. But as exciting as it is, and traditional, storied, really, some of the greats.
Well,
what was the best? Do you remember the tale of that great underwater thermocline chaser back in your day, Salty?
Well, I believe it was 1964, and it was this crazy man called what was his name? Leper Connie. He was a short little Irish man, this old Leper Connie, and we were in Lake Baikal, where the thermocline was I believe 400 feet deep.
That's one of the deeper thermoclines. It is impossible to get to.
It's really impressive because we actually had this event in the winter, so we had to cut our own ice hole, and the thermocline was still that low, and it was very strange. I think the average water temperature was roughly 1 degree Celsius.
That's how it'll do in Lake Baikal. Some people say the water's colder than 0 degrees Celsius, but I don't believe them.
Well, the thermocline is. That's when you get into the -2. It's just block. It's
down there, 457 feet.
Yep, that's it. But this old leprechaun, he was good. He was a good man. He had something was wrong with him. He just didn't feel the cold. I think he went past the thermocline a lot of events. He would go 100 feet past it, and he still beat me. He's an impressive fella.
He really is. Do you remember the first man to chase a thermocline? He chased thermoclines all across the Great Lakes and Europe. He did that one in Lake Geneva in Switzerland. He did Lake Huron. He was the first one to do Lake Superior. Salty, do you remember old Captain Behab? That was a grizzled man back in 1876.
Well, they actually named a few thermocline events after him. The old Behabbers. It was wild. In fact, I believe before the before he came to the scene, it was the Therm A-cline, and he said, "No, we're gonna make this all about O's." And
oh yeah, absolutely. He was a huge fan of the O, which is why you're right. They renamed it to the Thermocline after him. And
I did.
you can still to this day go to a number of beelines in the Great Lakes. Both Lake Huron and Lake Superior have a beeline named after Captain Behab, the
It's
first thermocline racer.
he
He
was
was so
obsessed.
good.
I will say that was his downfall, though. He was obsessed with hitting that beeline, hitting the thermos. It was
Oh yeah, absolutely.
it was
Of
his
course, the
ultimate
beeline's a little bit
downfall.
easier to get to in a tragic turn of events these days due to global warming.
That is very true. So it's ever changing, similar to how Mount Everest is always getting a little bit taller. But
Exactly. Let's get back to the events, Old Salty, where we have in an exciting clincher Michael Melps in pole position. That's right, my brother from another mother is crushing it out there against Mungus Carlson and Le Petit.
wait,
They are
what's
all
this?
neck and neck.
It appears we have a streaker on the on the lake. Oh no, that's just that's the great Jefferson Steel Flex of the uphill downhill. He's come here to party. He's here to try the last event.
Wait, he's entered himself in the last event. I didn't even know he was allowed to do that. Somebody needs to stop him. That's right. Salty, it is the underwater cup stacking. Now, you have to Michael Melps needs to hold off his competitors. Mungus Carlson, if he can use his giant brain to stack the cups 0.3 of a second faster, it's all his. It comes down to this. It's going to be a photo finish, and we're going to correct for the changed angle looking into the water.
Mm-hmm.
We will have all the refraction under control at ESPN 9.5, the Nueva E Media.
Mm-hmm. That's the one. It's a great channel. I watch it every Thursday night. Not sure why Thursdays, but it's how we.
Well, it's only on Thursday nights. Yet all the top stuff, like the underwater pentathlon. Now, in cup stacking, competitors must stack their cups from their mats, take their hands off, stack their cups in 3 different positions. And once all their cups are stacked, they have to destack them and put their hands back down on the play mat.
It's true. It's
This
really
event
tough
is a speed
underwater.
event. It is fast. It requires dexterous, and these guys have been out here all day long.
I do gotta say it's hard. I've had a few issues where the fish that you previously caught come up to you and sort of get in your way. That's why you gotta be smart about which fish you court, because you don't want the clingy ones like those leeches and other sea cucumbers.
The lamprey are
cucumbers.
the worst. I had a huge lamprey, got me a ton of points in that competition, came back to bite me when it knocked over my cups because it was just too clingy.
Sometimes they knock up your mat. It's a little hard to get both hands down. It's a dangerous sport out here. But that's what makes it enthralling.
All right, Salty, let's see the action. Here they go. Magnus goes for the triple stack. It comes around, but Melps is in the back. He's pulling through. It's one stack, 2 stack in. Oh my God, it's done. But Steel Flex is taking the gold. He is way out ahead. He's already done. And that is his fish coming back over. Oh my goodness, that's one of them there. Wait, oh my God, it's Lake Titty herself, the big monster. Steel Flex has her wrapped around one arm, and oh my goodness, he's going all the way.
See, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe he did it. He did the impossible. He beat everyone in the thermocline. He got old Titty. It's impressive. I have nothing to say. I don't know if I can keep going on, Pichael Melps. I don't know if I can keep going.
Well, of the competitors originally signed up, Mungus Carlson has clinched the underwater pentathlon, but he has been outshone by Jefferson Steel Flex of the uphill downhill fame. I don't think anyone else has ever crossed over into these two disciplines.
I have not seen it.
McGee.
I have not seen it, but I gotta say, hats off. My old lighthouse keeper hat is off to Jefferson Steel Flex doing the impossible. You know he's gonna get some big old
fin out of this. Oh yeah.
Oh, he's definitely getting something. If nothing like that though. I'm talking sponsorship deals. This man came in a nobody, streaks onto the lake and just shows all our athletes up. It's a feat I wish I could have done back when I was.
Few men are as talented as Jefferson Steel Flex. Let me tell you, he is the epitome of human endurance. Wow. Well, we are going to crown the gold place medal to Mungus Carlson, followed by my brother in silver, Michael Melps. That's okay, little bro. Next year you got him. And looks like Le Petit managed to hold on to the bronze. So
That's good.
we will come back later to see that ceremony. Thank you guys for watching, and good night.
Peace out. I'm going to go drink some whiskey now. Are we done?
I think so. That was quality. We did our sponsors in the middle.
That was great.
This was terrible.
Dude, I loved it. That was so funny.